Good morning, United Kingdom. Good morning. How are you doing? Lakhi Singh, the property fixer, the alternative business and property solutions community with Lakhi Singh every morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. during the drive time. So Lakhi Singh, how are you doing? And what's the weather like there in the United Kingdom?
I'm very well. It's a bit overcast as per normal, as you would expect in coming up to winter. But everything's good. All good. Happy days.
Excellent. Happy days. That's good. So in happy days, what's new?
I think sad news that there may be another lockdown from the 15th of December. But just somebody just sent me a text last night. And I think people are being vaccinated. A few people have been test vaccinated from what I heard in passing on the news yesterday. And then I've also had completely
the internet
contrary information. I've had
can't hear you, mate. You're breaking.
I said I've also had completely contrary information as well, where there's a video going viral on the internet with about 25 doctors saying that the vaccine is a fraud. So you're getting quite a lot going on at the moment, but that's not really mainstream. That's actually going viral on Facebook and WhatsApp. Can you hear me okay, or you can't hear me at all?
Right, we're still here, apparently, trying to wait to get connection with Lakhi Singh. Sorry for boring you, as usual. The vaccine. We know that there's been a vaccine developed, and a lot of this is going to be the first trial, I would say, or large independent trial of vaccine, where they were saying some doctors who took the vaccine had reactions and stuff. So there's going to be lots of things that happened. Yeah, are you back now, Lakhi Singh? So what were you saying about the news? And there's lots of stuff out there on that's viral. What are you saying?
So there's a news item that's going out that's actually not, let's just say, it's just a private news information which has not been verified, but it's got about 25 doctors on there, including Konstantin Pavlidis, who's somebody we know actually personally in our circle, as it happens, which is a small world, who are saying that the vaccine, they don't think the vaccine is something that should be given to people. And some people are saying that it could really, some of the doctors saying it could really affect the DNA of people altogether. And some people, one person in particular was saying that went as far as saying that it could actually change your DNA to such a point that we could be controlled, just like with using 5G or other technology. So it will make this no different from sheep. So how true any of that is, I don't know. But I have actually sent it on to a couple of family members so that they can make up their own mind about what they want to do if they got the vaccine presented to them.
Okay, so there's a lot of news coming on about the virus or about the vaccine. And obviously this putting a big doubt on the credibility of the vaccine. So what camp are you in, Lakhi? Are you pro-vaccine? Are you against it? Are you in the middle somewhere? Are you going to get vaccinated? What's going to happen?
I'm probably against it because I think I'm okay. I don't think I'll need it, because I think you need to just look after yourself. I mean, one of the doctors said if you took enough vitamin C, enough vitamin D, and zinc, that's enough to protect you from a virus like this. But another doctor did say that from Norway, and I think even from the UK, that the death toll that's occurred in the UK is the same as the death toll that occurred last year in the same time. So there's hardly any difference. So they're not necessarily acknowledging the stats that we've been given. So they think there's a lot of misinformation or fake news about what's really happening with the pandemic. So I personally prefer not to be taking it, to be honest. But you know, I think everything comes down to the facts. If it could be proven to me that it's worthwhile, I'm not really that concerned about myself. But I do take it really because I don't think I need it. I'm sort of fit and healthy. I'm already bringing up my immune system to a level that's you know, it's good enough not to be really catching anything. But I think it's more my concern for the rest of my family to try and work out what the real facts are, so you know they can make an informed decision about what they want to do.
Okay, so what have you worked out about it from the informed facts that you have?
I haven't done any sort of research or work on it at the moment. It just seems to be a noise from different places about what's what. So, and this information only just read yesterday lunchtime, and also forwarded it on to you to listen to as well, so that you knew what was being sent virally as well. So our old friend Robert D'Souza sent that to us.
Yeah.
And told us a little bit about what's going on in the medical field. So yeah, I'll be sort of like putting a listening ear out to see what's going on. But you know, you get two complete school of thoughts. One friend of mine actually said to me, well, you know, they had the same issue when they introduced the flu vaccine, and there's only 2 people that were taken ill when they actually introduced it. That had side effects, but everybody else was fine and it helped. So, you know, I think we've got to really be careful about what we're saying and what we're understanding. There's also a conspiracy that the World Health Organization has actually somewhat, they're alluding to that the World Health Organization is corrupt and it's not a real organization. And for them to be rubber stamping clinical trials for this type of medicine, it's actually an organization that's led by big pharma. So they don't seem to think that it is actually something that's, let's say, something that's credible. So lots of conspiracy, a lot of argument on the internet. So you're getting lots of conflicting views for anybody putting that message out. And on Facebook, you don't really know who's who, because you get a lot of accounts which are people which are trying to be pro the vaccine, and then there's others which are very anti-vaccine as well. And all certain people that actually I know personally just post everything that's negative about that as well. But I think we should move on, because we're trying to be positive. We're not trying to look at we're not trying to give press to really what the main media is going to do. We're trying to give press to an alternative way of looking at things. So my point of view is, let's not try to create a problem that doesn't exist. Why not just look at the top 10 health strategies So you can be in a position where wherever happens, you're impenetrable. And that's why we've got Deborah on our side, I think, who may be waiting in the wings. And she's going to tell us that
Yes,
the last...
she hasn't arrived. So she hasn't arrived yet. We'll look at the shout out. Okay, the message for the week again is let your success make its noise. So we mentioned that, and we realized that there's different meanings of success for different people, internally and externally. So the bottom line is success, or the matter of success, is more of a relative term. It could be subject to the industry you're in, because just like Neuro-Linguistic Program, who's in the entertainment and the industries which are to do with music and events management, I think people need to make noise. That sort of gives you a feeling of you've got it right. And we think we've got Deborah waiting in the wings, just like Luther Van Ross and Maria Carey waiting in the wings. My love, you are the... Oh, so we got now Maria. How can we got you in the wings, Deborah, in the wings?
Morning.
Deborah, are you there in the wings?
I'm here, but my camera's not showing for some reason.
Your camera is what? Frozen?
My camera's not come on yet for some reason. I think there's a bit of a lag with StreamYard.
Hasn't your camera turned on yet? Is it not turned on enough?
It is turned on, but it's not in StreamYard. I might need to come back in again.
Yeah, I think if you give it my picture, it will be turned on very quickly. The right thing to do. Right, Deborah.
I'll leave and I'll come back in again and see if that fixes it.
And then you come back in again. Let's see you come back in again, a bit like the Matrix, jumping in and out of different time zones. Come back in again, and then we will have you again. Okay, talking about having Deborah. Robin Hood, Little Red Riding Hood. She goes and gets lost in the woods. So a wolf comes out behind the bushes and says to her, "I'm going to eat you." No, he doesn't say that to her. He says, "I'm going to devour you." And she says, "Why don't you stick to the script and eat me just like everybody else does?" So that is a little anecdote to start today. So we should remember when to devour and when to eat. So, Lakhi Singh. Deborah is back. We've got her there, back in the wings. Deborah.
Morning.
You're back. Morning. And you're back with us, waiting in the wings. So, yes, we've got the other 3 tips for left over from yesterday. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to revise the first 7. So just let me see if I can remember them. One was switch off the television. Is that right?
Well done.
The second was have plenty of exercise.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yep.
I'll
And
tick
the
them
third
off.
was have lots of fresh fruits and alkalinic diet.
Yeah.
Fourth was get out and be in contact with the nature, things around you. Walk naked on the grass. And the fourth was quality water. Or the fifth was quality water. Water is most important because that's what gives you a state of balance. 5 was breathing techniques and meditation. That's right. 6, breathing techniques and meditation. And number 7 was plenty of something beginning with S, I think it was. Plenty of
Sleep.
E. Yes.
No, we didn't talk about sleep yesterday.
Sleep.
We didn't talk about
it?
sleep yesterday. I was talking about
We
joy,
didn't talk-
doing things that bring you joy.
That's right. Doing things that tickle you, tickle your fancy. That's right. Enjoyment, things that you get enjoyment from. Number 7. I was nearly there. Missed the last one. Anyhow, I thought it was get plenty of something begins with S, but I couldn't work out what the S was. And Lakhi's corrected me in sleep. So we've got 3 left today.
Well, there's
So
another
tell us.
one. Yesterday.
There's another one.
What were we talking about the power of...
What's that? The power of...
It begins with a G.
The power of good...
Gratitude.
That's right. I was going to say something else. Good. Okay, now gratitude. Thank you so much. I'm grateful that you reminded us. Okay, so that was, is that number 8 or 7? That's number 7. We've got 3 left. Is that right?
I have a lot of gratitude for Deborah coming on the show, more than you'll ever realize.
Bless you.
Yes, a lot of gratitude there, all in all directions for Deborah, coming from lots of different people. I bet you're watching us now. Very grateful for your attendance and trying to give a bit of inspiration back, I would say, a bit of a feeling of goodness and positivity for everybody locked indoors. Are you locked indoors, Lakhi Singh?
Nope, I'm heading to the office after this.
Okay, so hardly makes any sense for you. Deborah, are you locked in? Are you under lockdown? Are you locked in? Are you living in a domestic prison?
We're in tier 3 at the moment. Whatever that means. I can't keep up with all these changes. It's so confusing.
What's it called? NTS3?
Tier 3.
Tier 3. Okay, tier 3. That sounds like tier 3. It sounds like a grade of some kind. And what does tier 3? You don't know what it means. What's the highest?
Sorry for that one.
Okay. So tier 3. So are you allowed out at tier 3?
Well, I go out. I go into the park. I go into town. You know, I'm sensible. I wash my hands. I go out.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, what you can go out to is very limited because there's not a lot open.
Yes, but we've got 3 love hearts that have come through for you, Deborah, this morning. Lovely love hearts. And that's especially for you. It's nice. Okay, Deborah, tell us number 8. Number 8 on the list.
So I've got 20 on my list, so I'm just going to pick a couple, right?
I think we should do this 20, Vijay Sal, because this is the alternative. We don't want to be dull by introducing 10. Let's do 20.
Yeah, we can go through as many as we can go through, Deborah, until everybody gets... Yeah,
I had a dream last night that we should have 500, which is kind of strange, but we are alternative.
Okay, you had a dream about it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'll go through the list, right? And then
let's go through the list. So what's number 8?
We're talking about raising your vibration and the things that you can do to raise your vibration, because when you do that, it improves your immune system, it boosts your immune system. And so what we want to be doing. Actually, that's really good for you, chanting.
There you are.
That's really good for you, actually. That's not on my list. I'm
gonna... Is that right? Like to do it is no. It's we've got different levels of chanting, so I'm going to be doing the falling plane. Is that the falling plane? Is it?
Well, actually, that could be a falling plane, or it could be an oh.
Can you do that one, Lakhi Singh? Can you do that one?
Deborah, I wasn't expecting that, but there we go.
Okay. So making chants.
I'm gonna chant.
Way, Lakhi Singh. Is that the type of chant?
No, the first one,
Okay.
the falling plane.
Okay. So we've got we've got that going on, the noise, the vibrations.
Yeah.
Okay, you got that. Next.
The next one is being kind to yourself and being kind to other people, doing random acts of kindness, because when you do that, it makes you feel better. And when you're kind to yourself, you feel better as well.
So you mean like if you've got nothing else to be kind about, you could throw the cat out of the window, go around, pick it up and snuggle it and be nice.
No, you don't throw it out in the first place.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you can have someone else throw it out, so you're not really directly responsible, and you could go out and then snuggle it. What do you reckon?
If somebody else had thrown it out and you took it in, well, that's kind.
That's you being kind, yeah. Lakhi Singh, what if we throw you out the window and I go around and pick you up and snuggle you? Did that work?
No, that's actually more scary than anything else.
All right, okay.
I don't mind being thrown out the window. That's okay.
Yeah, if you threw you out the window, that's only 3 foot off the ground. A bit difficult. It wouldn't really make much sense. I'd rather just snuggle you. Snuggle you. So do you snuggle? Can you snuggle people and be kind, Deborah?
You can.
Snuggle them. Can you? Okay then. Okay, snuggling people and being kind. Let's make it more.
Yeah, snuggling can be hugs, because hugs raise your vibration. Hugs make you feel good. They raise you, like it's like they release oxytocin in the brain.
So I think we should actually encourage the viewers to do a self-hug this morning. So I think we all deserve a little hug. VJ Sal, you have the permission to give yourself a hug as well, even though I know it could be a bit difficult for yourself.
Here's the hug, the Lakhi Singh, the propertyfixer, the hug from Mandy Sandhu, from Amar Ali, from and is giving you a hug out as well. Okay, so you can snuggle yourself. Can you like that?
Yeah, self-love, about loving yourself and hugging yourself.
And what about snuggling trees?
That's
Could you snuggle a tree?
But that comes under the nature one.
That comes to the nature. Okay, so really caring, which is something that you have to do with other humans. Is that right? Or with an animal?
Yeah, caring and kindness, and there's another one which is compassion, showing compassion.
Is it? Compassion. How would you show compassion then?
How do you think you show compassion, VJ Sal?
I would show compassion in watching the television and shouting at the centre forward who misses the goals. That's compassion. Yeah.
So if you're shouting at him, is that compassionate?
Yeah, that's compassionate from our team.
What about you, Lakhi Singh? What's your definition of compassion? Give us an example.
Give us an example of.
Talk to VJ Sal and say, offer him, say something nice to him to try and make him realize that that's not compassion. So VJ Sal, you need some serious therapy. So that's
right. Okay. Compassion. What's the difference between compassion and caring then, Deborah? Tell us. That's a bit confusing. I can care.
About caring for yourself, caring for other people. And then you've got kindness, which is about doing specific things for them, like acts of kindness, for example. Yeah. And then compassion is about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and not judging them, and like having empathy, and like knowing, being able, if you say, for example, that you see somebody who's acting in a certain way, Well, you don't know what's going on for that person. So, compassion is not judging them and being able to put yourself in their shoes and being able to see things and perceive things differently about that situation.
Okay, so that's being compassionate. Right. Okay. So being compassionate, being caring, and being empathetic. These are sort of like three words that are interrelated and they could get confused with one another. But as long as what you're saying is just be a good person to somebody else. Don't be selfish and don't be inconsiderate. Could that be the right way of saying it?
Yeah, you can put it that way, yeah.
That covers everything, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, and then the next one that I talked about when I was on the show by myself the other day when your internet wasn't working. Was about,
decided to pop it.
Yeah, so I was talking then about your thoughts and your beliefs, because that's super important, and because how you think creates your reality. And so if you're thinking, I'm fearful of getting this virus, I'm like, what you're actually doing is you're putting a fear thought out there. And if you've got a fear about a virus, you're actually attracting that into your field. So it's about being sensible and being able to focus on doing the things that you can do that are within your control. So your thoughts are critical.
So you've got to have positive thinking, yeah?
Yeah, thinking positive, but training your thoughts as well. Becoming conscious, becoming conscious of your thoughts, and in particular, how are you speaking to yourself?
How you speak to yourself? Okay, can you give us an example of that? I
often find Vijay talking to himself when I ring him sometimes. So I have to get him to snap out of it and start talking to me.
Yeah. That's probably because you're weird. Yeah, go on, tell us then, Deborah. What do you mean by talking to yourself?
So we all
senile dementia when you start talking to yourself.
No, it might be that you're just repeating things in your head. Everybody talks to yourself. It's your internal dialogue. So it's being conscious of the things that you're actually saying to yourself about yourself. So, for example, are you saying, yes, I can do this. Yes, I've got all the resources within me right now to be healthy and strong, or to do that property deal, or to, be able to go and see this person and make them feel better? Or are your thoughts saying, oh, don't be so daft, you never win, you're a failure, you always get so far and then you self-sabotage and things always go wrong for you? I remember I was in like one of these looping thought patterns many years ago, and things started to go wrong in the house. And it was like the fridge blew up and then the television blew up. But every time this was happening, I was saying, oh no, what's going to happen next? And I'm putting all this energy behind what is going to happen next, and being in that state of being really fed up about it, because we were really skint at the time and couldn't afford to replace these items. But everything in the house started blowing up. It was ridiculous. The television went, the washing machine went, then all the bulbs started going and all the major appliances had gone. And then I read a book by Andrew Matthews called Being Happy. And he talks about how your thoughts are real things and how you're creating your own reality. And so I started to become conscious about my thoughts and started to train my mind to think in a different way. So that's what I mean by that, about your thoughts, being conscious of them.
So you're basically saying you could blow up a telephone with your thoughts.
You can do anything with your thoughts. Thoughts can harm, thoughts can be helpful, thoughts can heal.
Okay, so thoughts are important, and is that the driving energy for words as well? Is it the words drive thoughts, or is it thoughts drive words?
I think your thoughts come before your words, because you think and then you speak. Would you agree with that, Lakhi Singh?
I think Lakhi's.
I think it's quite a tough one, because a lot of people don't even realize that their thought patterns are dictating maybe their their reality. They're just literally thinking whatever they're thinking is correct, and a lot of people don't stop to think about reprogramming themselves as they're growing older and taking out old programs. So I think having maybe good friends, or even getting some counseling to look at really your thought patterns, could make a big difference in terms of whatever you want to achieve in your life, because everything is easy. It's all about what you think that creates your reality.
Isn't it that you have cycles of patterns? You behave in a certain way and you keep transmitting the same behavior. How do you change that? Because Deborah, I'm going to ask you then. You've got a certain thought pattern because of the way you are, the way you've been brought up, the things you've seen. Now, you're bound to do things in a certain way when you come under a certain environment. So that behavior isn't necessarily negative or positive. It's just the way that you've been hardwired. You'll behave in a certain way when you see a certain thing because of your experiences, because of the way you've been brought up, etc., etc. Now, when you behave in that certain way, most people end up cyclically in the same framework. Somehow they come around to the same type of major or minor decisions, and they're inherently disposed to taking the same type of decisions at those junctures because they are already hardwired, or they're already tuned to behaving in a certain way at certain things. Like you gave the example yesterday of your accounts. You find accounts really difficult, but every time it comes to your accounts, you said you're sort of throwing in something to motivate yourself to do your accounts. But surely, isn't that something that you're hardwired in your own psychology for, that you seem to think accounts is the boring thing or the difficult thing? Whereas for another person, accounts may be the interesting topic in business, the real one that gives them a buzz when they see how numbers fluctuate and turn. So aren't we a victim of our predisposed behaviors? And is that really being governed by thought? Because by your thought, you may be able to change a tactical position or a momentary thought, but the overall thing that's changing your cycle, everyone's got a cycle in their life. So they keep going around and ending back at the same cycle. People who keep having failed relationships, they keep going for the same type of female, and the same type of female having the same profile will turn around and possibly let go of them or turn out to be a psycho because this person has a certain way of dealing with the opposite sex. Do you understand what I'm saying, Deborah? How do you crack that open?
I do. Whatever happens to you in your first 7 years of life forms like your personality, and you know, we inherit a lot of our traits from previous generations, which are passed down through the DNA, you know, through ancestry, but also through conditioning, through culture, through religion, through society, through parents, through schools, you know, education, your friends. So everything, like you're like a sponge at that age. And this is why the Jesuits have a saying, and they say, give me the boy for the first 7 years and I will show you the man. But
give me the boy 7 years, you say?
Yeah, because they know that in that first 7 years, that's when the personality is formed, and everything that happens in that time has an impact. I'm doing a course at the moment, which is looking at the impact of childhood and childhood trauma on entrepreneurs and how it blocks the chakras. And it's fascinating. And I'm particularly interested in that work because, like, I'm working with my frequency device, and in the frequency device, it shows us the chakras and what percentage they're actually functioning at, and then we can sort of work to unblock those and bring them into balance. But the frequency device also produces like extensive reports as well that can really be good at self-reflection and looking at what it's picking up. And sometimes it's ancestral stuff that it's picking up. Sometimes it's stuff to do with physical, it's to do with emotional. And so what I'm getting at here is that we are conditioned in a certain way, which affects our behaviour today, but through self-awareness, through personal development, through doing the spiritual work, we can then become conscious of everything that we're actually doing, and we can change it. But in terms of accounts, I mean, we have like different personality traits. We have things that we're in flow doing. I like the wealth dynamics profiling system for entrepreneurs, because that shows you where your core skill is, if you will, not skill, but where you're actually operating from. Yeah. Well, like when I'm looking at the wealth dynamics profiling system, my profile's a deal maker. So as a deal maker, I've got a huge network. I'm always looking for win-win deals with people, and really good at timing for things. But on the left-hand side of the chart, where you've got like the lords which accumulate the money, you've got the people who do the cash flow, you've got the mechanics that systemize everything. I have very little on that side. I'm all on the right side, which is all to do with people, supporting people, leading teams, shining a light on projects. And so understanding your profiles can be really useful.
Right. Okay, Lakhi, what do you have to say to all that information you just got from Deborah? Do you blame your ancestors for your inabilities to do things?
I think you get a lot of things which are inherent. So your ancestors, your DNA, I think, will have an impact. For your parents and your grandparents, you get a combination of your grandparents' DNA, and that will impact the type of profile of person you've got, what type of body you've got, what your longevity of your life is going to be based upon your physical health. So you've got the basic platform, which is already set. So your physical, your DNA. And I think, I agree. The first, I think they're called the formative years, the first 1 to 7 years. Anything that happens in that time will later on be the program for you in terms of your, when you become, let's just say, in your 20s, your teens, they're going to be the key programs that define really what you're going to be like and how you're going to manage things. So, but if you're quite acutely aware that that's the situation, you can actually delve into your past, fix the past, get into the present so you can focus into the future. But there are tools and techniques to do that. So one of the tools is, if you realize that there are certain things that happened in your childhood which may have been traumatic or may have been positive as well, it doesn't have to be negative, or you can go back to them and reflect on them and embody them and embrace them, and they will allow you to then move forward in things that may have been holding you back, and the ones that are holding you, making you go forward, you can try to understand them better so that you can look at other traits that you could be using. So I think, pretty much agree with all of that. And I think the reality also is, if you're, just keep it simple, if there's 3 or 4 different traits becoming, for example, a count or a lord, or, the wealth dynamics is a quite well-known sort of methodology by Roger Hamilton on the type of profile you are. I think I've done it as well. I think what happens is you can actually also change your profile, but you'll have to work quite hard at it, because it means fundamentally changing your the basics or the fundamentals of how you operate. So nothing is impossible. The question is, would you rather work with what you've got which is something that already works for you, or do you want something else which you think will actually help you to get to where you want to go? So if you want to be the director of a multinational and you need 3 or 4 comprehensive skills, not just going to need one of being a deal maker, then you do need to work on yourself, and all the tools and the people and the mentors and the coaches are out there to actually help you get there as well.
Okay, right, Deborah, let's continue with the next important thing to assist you during the COVID lockdown. So I think this is an interesting topic in itself. We have deviated slightly, but it's still been interesting to work out how somebody changes. Just on a note, there's an interesting wildlife documentary about lion packs, or are they called packs of lions? Are they, or lion
Pride?
Pride, that's right, a lion pride, and the lion pride basically was passing down from generation to generation hunting techniques based upon where they are. So, for example, a lion pride that's in the Maasai out in the desert, that predominantly survives on buffaloes or zebras, those type of animals, they will actually pass on that knowledge to their children, and the children pass it on to their children. And then remember, lions are not going to school to learn techniques and hunting style. They are picking it up a bit like DNA, like you said, an ancestral knowledge that's not known, it's not seen, but it's there with them. And then they pass that knowledge on. And there's certain lion prides that are in wetlands, in places where there's lots of water. So those type of lions are used to eating different types of animals. Now, the style and technique that they hunt with is totally different. And yet, as a lion, they all seem to know that the jugular is an important place to kill prey. Now, it hasn't been taught to them. It's not something that they go in and read from the books, but it's something that naturally they pick up in essence. So the point is there, we are living beings, and there are things there that are inbuilt in us, irrespective of us not actually knowing that we have that knowledge, but it comes from ancestral qualities or traits. Like, what's it now, the gentleman who was they called him something, the mad, who was like one of these roving, people who was around the world battling and fighting, is going off conquesting all around the world. I forgot his name. He's actually, I think, a great grandfather to William's wife. What her name? What's her name? Pardon?
King George?
No, it's something the mad. He was known as, it was something really, this guy was vicious in battle. He was the type of guy who would chop up people and stick them in a coal, like a pot, and eat their bones and everything. He was called something the mad. He's actually, I think, some great uncle or grandfather of William's. Well, what's William's? Middleton, that's right, Kate Middleton's family. So I'm expecting her to turn around and pull out a sword one day, go out to battle. Anyhow, continue, Deborah. Next point.
Okay, so next way that you can raise your vibration and boost your immune system is by using essential oils. Essential oils are the soul of the plants. They're amazing. And they come from different parts of the plant. It could be the leaf, the bark, the petals, and the oil's extracted, and then you've got like a pure oil, which is like an essence, which when you use can change your emotional state immediately just through smelling it, which is why you get the word aromatherapy.
Yes.
But it's very important when you're sourcing essential oils to only use therapeutic grade oils, because I was horrified that when I first started working in the essential oil industry, that, you know, like you'll go into a shop and you'll see on a bottle of oil 100% pure, and then I found out that with the labelling and the laws, it only needs to contain 5% of the real oil to be labelled as 100% pure, and the rest of it can be chemicals, synthetics, carrier oils. And so you really have to be very, very careful how you source your oils, and use them in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. One of my team
This could be the same thing, Deborah, as they're going to do to the vaccine, 5% vaccine and 95%
Water.
some killer overdose.
Well, nothing surprises me, Lakhi.
Not my comment on that. I'm going to be careful, but just joking.
Yeah. But one of my team had a friend who'd contacted her, and she'd put essential oils in a bath, and she'd come out in chemical burns all over her body, and she had to go to the hospital for treatment. And she said, "What do you recommend?" I said, "Well, what has she actually put in the bath?" And I looked. She sent me the brand name, and I looked on the company's website, and there was like a KOSH statement there, you know, with all the ingredients, and it was just full of chemicals, and it said it's a fragrance oil, do not apply to the skin. And so this is the importance of like really doing your research and looking at the company's website and looking at what you can actually do with that oil. Super, super important, because even if you put in a fragrance oil in an oil burner, that's releasing chemicals into the air, and you don't want to be breathing that in, because that's then making a toxic environment for your body, which then compromises the immune system.
Yes, that's true. So you're saying using aromatic oils to just get a bottle and just spread it all over my body, should I?
Well, the ones that I use are therapeutic grade oils, and they're very, very potent. So I'm literally using 1 drop of oil with some carrier, and I use it for boosting my immune system. And I have my hand sanitizer. I don't use those hand sanitizers that they have in the stores, because they're full of alcohol and, you know, like chemicals. I carry my own with me, and I use that for sanitizing my hands.
Okay, Lakhi, can you imagine yourself slapping some of this aroma over your chest, walking around with a smell of aroma, like a flower?
I think it's called aromatherapy for a reason. You're not meant to be slapping it all over yourself. You're meant to be putting it into your room.
All right, slap it on your.
I think you normally put it under some sort of candle holder thing, and then that heats up the oil and it releases the aroma into the room. Is that right, Deborah?
No, you shouldn't use them like that. If it's a therapeutic grade oil,
you're going to slap it over you. You can't be throwing it on a.
Okay, I don't know. I think I certainly am uneducated.
You don't want to be stepping the whole room alive with it.
VJ Sal, you need to listen.
Yes, Deborah, sorry.
Okay.
Lakhi Singh wanted to set the room alive with it. I don't know why.
So I'll give you a little bit of education on essential oils. There's 3 ways of using them. You can use them aromatically, but you don't use them with an oil burner, because when you heat an oil up, you're destroying the therapeutic properties of that oil. So what you want is an essential oil diffuser, which uses cold water, and it releases the volatile aromatic compounds of the essential oil into the atmosphere, so that everybody in the room is getting the therapeutic benefits of it, so long as you're using therapeutic grade oils. So that's the first way of using it. Or you can simply take the top off the bottle and smell it. So the second way of using it is topically, which is where you can put a drop in your hand, rub your hands together, inhale it that way, or you can add carrier oil, rub it on your body. Yesterday,
that's what I said. Slap it all over your body. Can you imagine Lakhi Singh walking around smelling like a sick for 4 daisy? That wouldn't be nice, would it, Lakhi Singh? Walk.
I don't know if you do essential oil called Daisy, VJ Sal.
Oh, okay. Which one would it be? Would it be lavender? Lavender?
Lavender sleep and it's calming.
I think I'm going to paint it the Daisy one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to just slap it all over Lakhi and have people sniffing him to get intoxicated. Would that be an easier way in the office? Have him standing in the foyer. People can smell him as they go in and out. We say, smell you later, Lakhi Singh.
I use my oil perfumes, because they are absolutely gorgeous and they've not got the chemicals in like perfumes have got. So so using your oils topically, you can use it like if you've got sore muscles, you can rub them into your legs, or if you've done exercise.
Any one muscle, can you rub it onto any muscle?
Yeah.
Well, love heart for you then, Deborah, because we've got someone saying, we love you, love the advice you're giving us. Okay.
So yesterday, for example, my son messaged me because I gave him some essential oils for Christmas last year. So he has like an emergency kit there. And he messaged me saying his girlfriend had a sore throat and which oil should he use? So I said, use the protective blend, which has like cloves, cinnamon, wild orange, rosemary, and put that on the throat. And you can gargle with tea tree oil. And he messaged me back within 10 minutes to say that, it was feeling a lot better. So they work very, very quickly.
Excellent.
That's the second way of using it. And the third way of using it is internally. But you can only do this if the oil is tested extensively and it's in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Otherwise, it can be dangerous to do so. But like if I'm coming down with anything, I'll make up like a capsule, like an empty vegetable capsule with 1 drop each of frankincense, lemon, the On Guard protective blend. I'll put melaleuca in there, and I'll put, what's the other one I put in there? There's one other. And I'll shake them up. Shake them up and then take it. And that is normally enough to knock anything on the head for me, and then I'm able to just have that quick immune system boost and then get on with my day. So
okay, can you put a drop onto a couple of chicken nuggets and eat them?
I do. I've got an actual whole box of oils that I use for cooking. Yeah.
Excellent.
So you can
fry the chicken nuggets in them.
But I'd actually put them in like olive oil or something like that, and then dip your chicken nuggets into them if you wanted to do that.
Excellent. Okay. Let's move on to the next point.
Okay.
Deborah.
So the next point that I'll bring up is sleep, because we've not talked about sleep yet. And
I'm saying that's what I was talking about earlier. Getting lots of sleep. That's right. Getting lots of it.
Yeah.
If you listen to VJ Sal enough in the morning, then he can put you to sleep.
Yeah. I mean, getting lots of sleep, lots of it. Yeah.
Well,
that's what I say.
Sleep deprivation lowers the immune system because your body is rejuvenating itself during sleep time. I'm not very good at this, but they say that an adult should be in bed by 10 p.m. because your liver starts to regenerate at a certain time, and different organs in the body start to regenerate at different times. But I'm like a night owl, so I tend to work late, and then but I always try and make sure that I get at least 7-8 hours sleep every single night, and I'm getting good quality sleep now. So
how about you, Lakhisingh? How many hours do you get? How many hours are you getting?
What tends to happen is I tend to be quite good in the beginning of the week, tend to get 7 or 8 hours as a minimum. But as the week goes on, end up getting less and less. So usually 5 or 6 hours by Wednesday, Thursday. So I usually try to catch up on the sleep on the weekend. but that's because I think I tend to get busier on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Whereas on the Monday, I try to go in quite early in the morning. But it's a sort of more like a weekly sleep routine rather than anything else.
Okay, and this goes back to the cycles that you can't break. So you may need to break the cycles of how you do your work in your week to be able to manage good sleep patterns. I think, Deborah, you need to have sleep pattern regularly. It can't be, can it be done the way Lakhi's doing it, waiting for the weekend to get lots of sleep?
Well,
Should it not be?
I have done that myself to try and like just give myself time to recuperate if I've had a really, really full-on week. But I do try to organise my diary so that if I've been up till midnight, I'm not getting up until at least I set my alarm clock for 8 hours later.
Okay,
so I'm getting my 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Next on the points for keeping healthy during COVID. How many have we done now? How many have we at?
I think we've done about 11, 12, 13. I think we've done about 14, 15. I'm going to say music for the next one. Uplifting music and healing music.
Okay, lifting music, is that sort of like stuff that will help you pick up the weight? Is that what you mean?
Stuff that uplifts your spirits, makes you feel. And it could be music that you're exercising to that makes you feel really, really good, you know, because music changes your emotions. So like with music, you've got different types of music. And sound frequency is awesome. Everything in the universe is frequency, and your body responds to sound frequency. So I love to go to like gong baths, for example, and like
gong bath.
Yeah, music like you get music.
Yeah.
Like singing bowls, and you get crystal singing bowls. Last year, my daughter bought me one of the little Tibetan bowls, which and because those are really, really powerful. Also, have a look on Google at solfeggio sounds, because solfeggio sounds are sounds that can bring different organs back into balance, that they can balance the chakras. You know, like you've got like different frequencies, different hertz. And so you can just research all that. You've got binaural beats for balancing the brain and creativity.
Okay, Lakhi, are you into listening uplifting music? Do you listen to expletive rap and stuff like that gives you a feeling being uplifted? Does that make you?
I only have one type of music in the car, and I put it on very loud every time I'm not on the phone. But 90% of the time, if I'm in the car, I'm always on the phone anyway. But in between, I do get a dose of this type of music. You're going to try and guess what it is.
Expletive rap?
Nope. I reckon Deborah might have a better idea. Deborah, what type of music do you think I listen to?
Well,
Deborah, let's have a guess.
I've got a turban on. That's a bit of a clue.
Bhangra.
That's
Bhangra.
right.
Kangaroo. Kangaroo. Okay. We've got the last 30 seconds. With Deborah, we're going to have you on again on Monday or Tuesday, because you're just full of lots of knowledge and how to feel. Even talking to you, I start feeling better. I was feeling really low this morning, but now since I've talked to you, my energy levels have come up. So we're going to have you on again next week. So we continue, and we'll do a slight revision on some of these points, because I think lots of people are actually coming with interest, trying to work out which oils to use. And Lakhi Singh, just to summarize.
Just on that point, BJ, just on that point, if they want information on essential oils, if they hop over to my Facebook page called Magdalene Wellness, and if they want I'll do some free education for them. And I've got like a pre-recorded video that I can send them, which gives education on essential oils. And Yeah, it's got time to
get it out on the group, and we'll send it to everyone for everyone to have a look at. I think they'll enjoy learning all these wonderful techniques while they're locked at home during the lockdown. Lots of stuff that's going to make us feel better.
And
Lakhi Singh,
great Christmas presents, VJ Sal. Really good Christmas presents.
Yeah, Christmas presents. So if you want Lakhi Singh smelling like before he goes to work, it's splash all on, bit like the Brute 33, splash on aromatic oils, Lakhi Singh. Lakhi Singh, pardon, yes.
You don't need that much, VJ Sal. Just one drop goes a long way. They're very potent.
Goes a long way, excellent. One drop, depends on how big that drop is. But anyhow, one drop, Lakhi Singh. Last words, last 30 seconds. What do you have to say for yourself? Have you learned anything today?
Everybody out there, just want to give the message out to you to have gratitude for whatever you've got. Don't worry about what's happening outside in the world. Try to switch off from any bad news you're hearing, because all news is good news. So there's a reason for everything. So have gratitude. I think that's the message, same message as yesterday.
Thank you, everyone. Lakhi Singh, tomorrow, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., Ninda Singh Johal on tomorrow. The VVIP that we have every Friday will be talking to us about many different topics. Deborah, love you and leave you. You're a wonderful person. You tuned up everyone. Everybody's loving you, sending their love hearts through. See you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you.